All right. Good morning. My name is Coach Big Pete, aka Peter Lionweber. Please follow Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. My email is coachbigpetefp@gmail.com. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. So let's get started. Second round, IHSA playoffs 2019. Second round games of the week. Looking for games of the week. Talking about games of the week, of course. Weathersfield versus Forest in 1A. It's going to be a big game. Hawafia versus Morrison. Hawafia, by the way, haven't won a playoff game in a long time. Was told the information by a Hawafia fan. Should be a great game as Hawafia takes on Morrison. Morrison's a great team as well. Lena Winslow takes on Orangeville again. What more can I say? NUIC was dominant. They were very dominant in week one. Um, they beat some teams that I was very impressed with, especially Lena Winslow. They were unbelievable. Athens at Camp Point Central, another interesting game to me. I'm very interested to see how Camp Point Central handles Athens offense. That's going to be a key thing, especially Camp Point Central secondary against that Athens passing attack. All right, let's go into 2A then. For 2A for the games of the week for 2A. Uh, all right, so for 2A, Tuscola versus St. Teresa Decatur is always going to be a good game. Definitely a game to check out in the 2A thing. Gibson City, Sterling, Newman Central Catholic. That's a huge game, especially for Sterling Central, Newman Central Catholic. They're looking good this year, and this is a big proving game against a strong Gibson City team. Knoxville keeps knocking it around. They play Wasika. And Nashville, Bismarck Henning, interesting game. Can they stop that rushing attack of Bismarck Henning, Nashville's defense? Let's go into 3A. And in 3A, for me, I'm looking forward towards Eureka versus Wilmington. I think that's going to be a great game. I think a lot of people should pay attention to that game. Um, Hull versus Princeton, a revamp of the game that I had for deepest football game of the week is Hull took on Princeton. Hull beat um, Piatone last week. Definitely a game to interested. I know Princeton does not want to see Hull for a second time. They beat Hull's bricks off basically, but they don't want to see Hull again. Quincy Notre Dame Beardstown's a huge game. This is a huge game for the Jack Cornell era. They're playing against the Beardstown team that is chasing history, and I mean this wholeheartedly. Beardstown is that team where basically nothing can go wrong. Beardstown is a team to check. I'm telling you this right now. Beardstown is a team of the destiny, a team of destiny. Mater Day versus Fairfield, an interesting game in the Southern Illinois. The Coin versus Williamsville. Can the Coin secondary get beat that Williamsville pass offense? Another huge thing. And Mount Carmel Vandalia, another interesting game as well. But I think that Eureka versus Wilmington game is going to be huge. Um, let's go into 4A. So for 4A, for me, Wheaton St. Francis, Genoa Kingston is going to be an interesting game. Marengo, Richmond Burden, another interesting game. I see Stillman Valley. Stillman Valley wants to prove something against this IC team. IVC versus Murfreesboro. IVC, if they get that win against Murfreesboro, I'm telling you now, watch out. Bishop Mack at Toledo Unity at Bishop Mack. Another interesting game, and I'm telling you right now, that if it happens for round three, Cole City versus St. Francis is going to be a hell of a game. Definitely a hell of a game. Keep an eye out for that game. No doubt about it. Benton, the Magic team against Effingham, another interesting thing. And I'm counting 1, 2. Yeah, there's only 2 undefeated teams in 4A. Cole City and Richmond Burden. Wow. Very impressed. Very impressive. So, again, 4A is looking interesting. Even though Rochester left for 5A, 4A is still interesting. Now we get into 5A. 5A is that's another interesting thing. because we got a revamp of last year's Highland versus Rochester. I'm excited about that game. No, it was 2 years ago. Or was it 2 years ago or last year? It was a good game. Triad versus Sacred Heart Griffin. Keep an eye out for Triad, and I got the name correct. Triad. Hopefully that is the correct name. It's not Troy Triad. It's not Troy. Just say Triad. I do apologize for people that I mispronounced the high school name. I really apologize. Mount Zion at Juliet Catholic. You're going against Juliet Catholic in their building. I'm telling you right now, Juliet Catholic, they're looking beautiful right now. They're looking really beautiful. If they get this big win over Mount Zion, watch out. And if they get that game against Rochester in the semifinals, it'd be very interesting. Kankakee versus Moscato. Moscato beat Carbondale, who I thought Carbondale was going to win. There's another interesting game again. Kankakee, another team of destiny that we talk about. Montini at Sycamore, that could be a tough game. Fenwick Hillcrest at Fenwick, interesting game Saturday on a Saturday. New coach for Fenwick after last week's Coach Nuru being replaced. St. Rita at Sterling, interesting game. I think a lot of people are still overlooking Sterling for some weird reason. Keep an eye out for Sterling. Yeah, St. Rita's a private team, but keep an eye out. And Marion Academy takes on Boylan Catholic. That's going to be another interesting game in 5A. So let's get to 6A, shall we? And in 6A, I have two games, deepest football games of the week in 6A. And 6A is interesting to me. I got Richards versus Peoria. How are they going to deal with that offense? And how is Peoria's defense going to defend? That's going to be an interesting game. And Prairie Ridge versus Simeon is the big game. This is the big game in the state. I'm excited for this game. This game is going to be huge. Fireworks this Saturday afternoon. I'm excited about this game. I really am. First time ever watching Simeon football. Should be interesting. Cary Grove versus Antioch. Interesting game too. Kenwood at Deerfield, another interesting game. Kenwood beat Riverside Brookfield. Canelan, Lake Forest. Keep an eye out for that Scouts defense against that Canelan offense. And Smith, their quarterback at Canelan, he's a hell of a player. East St. Louis at Rock Island. Can Rock Island pull off the upset? Lamont at Chatham Glenwood. That's a tough game. That's a really tough game for Lamont. Crete-Monee at Providence Catholic. Wow, that's a huge game. That's a huge game right there. That Crete-Monee team, that's another team of destiny. Travion Rudolph, you got to know that kid's name. That's a quarterback. He can do it all for Crete-Monee. Let's get into 7A. And we got Nazareth Academy taking on Thornton. It's going to be a tough game for Thornton. Batavia, Hanahu, Rolling Meadows, Prospect. I'm going to give Rolling Meadows. I like Rolling Meadows in that game. Wheaton Warrenville South versus Downers Grove North. Wheaton Warrenville South, they've got a good shot of making the quarterfinals. They really do. They've got a good shot at making the semifinals. So it'll be interesting to see how Wheaton Warrenville South prepares. And that Batavia Nazareth have a shot at the quarterfinal game. That's going to be interesting as well. Let's see. Yorkville, Willowbrook, interesting. Yorkville that could be a big game. That's actually a huge game, underrated game, especially Willowbrook with a Tamaldi athletic quarterback. Hersey, Lake Zurich, saw both teams. They looked unbelievable. Phillips versus Normal, another interesting game. Mount Carmel and Glenbar North. I think Glenbar North's magic train stops there, but they had a hell of a season. They had a hell of a season. Congratulations to Glenbar North on that one. That was a great season for them. And we go into 8A. And for 8A, the usual suspects. Edwardsville, Manuka. Manuka, can they stop that passing attack of Edwardsville? That's going to be huge. Brother Rice versus South Elgin. I'm going to go Brother Rice on that one. Warren Township versus Friend. Big game for Friend. Oswego, Bolingbrook at Bolingbrook. Bolingbrook had that big win over Hinsdale Central. I'm telling you right now, Bolingbrook is running on all engines. They are warmed up. I'm telling you that right now. Keep an eye out for Bolingbrook. Glenbard West, Loyola Academy, huge game as Glenbard West travels to Loyola Academy. Huntley, Chicago Marist. That's an interesting game. Can Marist win that? If Marist wins that game, watch out for Marist. That's diabolical. I'm telling you that right now. Niles Notre Dame at Lincoln Way East. That's going to be tough for the Dons to even handle that passing attack of Lincoln Way East. And Nequa Valley versus Homer Flossmoor is my underrated game of the night for Saturday. That is a huge game. Nequa Valley, Mark Gronkowski, he has nerves of ice. He's patient in the pocket. It's going to be a great game, especially against that home. How can Nequa Valley stop that Homer Flossmoor rushing offense? Would be interesting. Again, please follow Coach Big Pete and Deep Dish Football on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. My email is CoachBigPete, FP@gmail.com. If you like my work, feel free to leave a tip via PayPal. Thank you guys so much. Let's get second round started in IHSA football.